Hello YouTube, it's me, GreenMiner13, doing this video for the Sparring Panther. We've been talking, and he wished to know a list of card names for a Yu-Gi-Oh deck based off a zombie theme. And for those who know me, I personally enjoy my zombie deck. I, though, have a weird strategy. I'm pure defense, and I also like controlling the field. I usually like to control what my opponent does. The control, if they can attack, what they can attack, have the whole shenanigans. But I figured the empty screen would be boring. So I figured I'm going to hack Plants vs. Zombies. And there's two ways I want to show you how to make lots of money. One is simple, and the other is more complex. We'll go to the simple one right now. It's easy. Go to main menu. And before I forget, this is on the Steam version, and you can only do the easy glitch with Steam, and it's whatever. Go to minigames. I prefer slot machine because it's easy. Just go here. It'll ask you, do you want to continue your game or new game? Watch this. Continue. I paused it right at a diamond. Get the sun. Boom. Get the money. Do it again. Boom. See? That was random. It was just so random. I don't even know why that happened. Anyway, that's what you can do it a lot of times as long as you can control the field. Or, if you have Steam. Because I know a friend of mine who purchased the game from Walmart, and that didn't work out so well for him. Now this is the fun way. The harder way. Give me 5 seconds. Okay. This, I want you to know, is you will need to be able to hack the game entirely. Now, I'm going to first have all my plants pure and happy. And this is also the screen so you can watch how much money you make doing this as I go about the card list, and I figured this would be a great name for it. I also just got my sunflower, which is nice, because now I have one of all the sun-producing plants, and when I fill these up with plants I want to keep, I will inform you all. Money, diamonds, look at that money, 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 money. And this isn't the way to make money either. It's a great way. Look at that Cocoa Bean. He's happy. He's hyper too. You know how you tell. Alright, now I want you to remember is that all I'm doing is speeding up how these plants. I'm just, quote-unquote, I'm speed hacking. But that's all I'm doing. Now watch this. This is at the highest speed I can put it. And there you go. Check that out. Coffee bean looks normal. This, and now you can watch the money at the... why does someone have... But you can tell, look at that money. And the thing is, the snail's also increased his speed so he can catch it all. Because he can catch it all normally. But now he's just on crack. Anyway, I'll be right back. And that's me getting the cards. Because I completely forgot to get them when I started. So you watch that, I'll be right back. I was gone for like 3 seconds, and boom, there's already a lot of money coming towards me. And we're going to lower this, so I'm not as high, volume-wise, as I have to be. Maybe I'm a bit low. Maybe. I don't know. Anyway. Yeah. Give me a little bit more time. Hello? Hello? Anyway. Okay. So. This is this. Now I will go through the card listings. If you want to know how I've hacked this to increase speed, leave a comment in the description below. Also, okay, so the zombie deck I have to describe as the way I've designed this is a field control deck. So it has a good offensive zombies, good defense zombies, a few random creatures, a few good creatures, because I believe the pure zombie deck has its defaults, especially if you mess with the swordsmith lady Zetsuguma. Her ability is she can instant KO any fiend or zombie she battles, like Ryu Kaki. This is anti-warrior, anti-spellcraft. I would have to tell you though, my zombie deck is immediately going to beat any spellcaster or any warrior deck that it comes across, since it is packed with 3 Ryu Kakis. I actually downgraded that a while ago to 2, but still, the Ryu Kaki is by far the best creature I've ever seen. It's a zombie, 6 stars, it has 2k defense, a 2400 attack, has the ability to destroy any warrior or spellcaster immediately, so that means even if you would battle with the Dark Magician, yes, you lose 100, but your opponent loses the Dark Magician, so it has a pretty good field control, and the fact that he's a zombie makes him very easy to get back on the field. I'm going to start with my fusions, since they're technically not part of the deck. 1000 I restrict, and Reaper on the Nightmare. Those 2 cards are my only 2 fusions. There's more, and also, I'd also like to point out in the zombie deck, it's not completely done yet. I have issues getting certain cards. I have issues getting the magical field spell zombie world. If you get that, you'll be unbeatable. Guaranteed. Unbeatable. Also, I have a few rock types, and you'll see that later on. I would suggest Book of Life, multiple Books of Life. I have 3, since your deck revolves around zombies. Book of Life. Alright. Alright, well, let me do Book of Life's effect, and then I'll describe my 2 fusions. I completely screwed that up, but that's okay. You guys are here you're watching the plans. Alright, Book of Life. Ability to revive any zombie from your graveyard. You can't summon any from your opponent, and it has to be a zombie. You also have to discard one of your opponent's creatures out of play. Now, this is interesting, because if they don't have a creature in their graveyard, you can't play Book of Life. Okay. 1000 I restrict. A banned card. I have it, and now having a banned card, I do have to ask my opponent for permission to use it and add it to my deck. Always ask first. Don't be in the middle of the duel and then get stopped because you wasted your polymerization now. His effect is a great field control, which is why he's in here. No other creature can attack or change battle position, and once per turn, he can take control of any creature as an equipped card from your opponent's side of the field. He's great at destroying fields and all sorts of bad mama jama stuff. Next, he's a fusion for Relinquish and 1000 Eyes Idol. And that's that. And I will give you the effects, and he's a 0/0. Okay. In this video, I will give a description, name it, what it is, effects, attack and defense, and if you need to know anything about the cards in question, leave a comment below. Okay. Next card, Reaper on the Nightmare, which is the polymerization of Spirit Reaper and Nightmare Horse. Fun fact about Reaper on the Nightmare, he was the first ever fusion to be an actual fusion monster. His stats are literally the combination, his stars, his attack, his defense, even his effects. Everything about him is the fusion of the 2 monsters that make him. And you'll know that later on in the video, because, well, you'll hear about them because they're in my deck, of course. He's a zombie, 5-star, 800 attack, 600 defense. He can't be destroyed by battle. He's a great roll. I've had him on the field in defense mode, just because nothing could break him. Now, if he's targeted by a spell, he'll be a spell or trap card, he will be destroyed then. But there are certain cards that this doesn't affect, like penguins and stuff like that, but he's a fusion. I'll get into that later. Anyway, that's him. And he is by far my favorite fusion if I had to pick between the two. Book of Life. We already went over that. Next one. Double Costin. Zombie. 4-star. Dark type. It has the ability to be tributed, and you can summon any dark type. He can be tributed at a cost of 7 or higher, and he's the only one you need. He's great for any 3 monsters to 2 monsters as long as they're dark. So he's pretty cool. And he's 1700 attack and 1650 defense, and he's a pretty good zombie. So he's not bad. He's got good stacks. Magical Mallet. Now most people tell me I don't need this. I say, I play Magic the Gathering. I've played Pokemon. I've played Yu-Gi-Oh! And I have had moments where this Magical Mallet has saved my life and given me the ability to get a new hand. It has saved me. And the ability of this, I prefer this over Reload. Yes, Reload you can play at any time. But Reload can't. This Magical Mallet, spell card, lets you pick any card you want. So, hopefully that sort of affects you more. Hello? So I have to say, all my plans are stopping. I don't even know why. There we go. Okay. Okay, thank you, recording device. You're just all sorts of helpfulness. Anyway, let's go to the next one. Brain Control. Nasty little card. It's the card that lets you take control of any one-face-up monster on your opponent's side of the field for 800 life points for 1 turn. Usually when I do this, I usually tribute the monster I take, or it's their strongest and it's the last turn. It's sort of like that. Spell card, very good. I think it's limited. It used to be banned, but now it's not. Vampire Genesis. Actually, I think Brain Control is the only creature taking card that you can use. Vampire Genesis. Not my favorite card. Yes, he's good. He's actually doesn't really matter what his starter is. He's dark. He's more than 7. And he can only be summoned by setting out of play a Vampire Lord, which is a bummer because I like the Vampire Lord, and you'll know about him later. Vampire Lord. You can discard 1 zombie type from your graveyard and select and special summon 1 zombie from your graveyard with a level less than the discarded zombie monster. You can only use that once per turn. His stats are 2100 defense, but 3k attack. So he's got a good attack power. So in last resort, and someone plays something strong, and I defend Vampire Lord for a turn, but next turn he won't be lucky, then you would want to do that. Despair from the Dark, my favorite level 8. Level 8, he has 2800 attack and 3k defense. He has the ability that if you send him from the hand to the graveyard, he gets special summoned right to the field. It's a great monster. Most of them are either dark or earth. Half of them, fewer earth, and they're obvious because they're not zombies. Or if they are, I'll tell you. Creature Swap. Both players select 1 monster on the field, and we swap them out. So that is cool. You get to swap out cards. It's really good if you have a weakling and they have a strong one. You can do that. Black Illusion Ritual, which is Relinquish's Ritual card. Staunch Defender. It's a cool card. If your opponent attack, it's a trap card. And your opponent can attack. And if you have 2 face-up monsters, you get to pick who your opponent attacks. And your opponent must attack with all face-up monsters. So if I have, just go from the dark, face up, and a weakling like Reaper on the Nightmare, they're face-up attack mode, and he attacks Reaper, I can use this and select this spell from the dark, and all his monsters, or her, will attack. Mystical Space Typhoon, it's a quick play spell card, and it destroys any magic or trap card on the field. It's really good. I think I have 1 or 2, I don't know. I think I have that in Dust Tornado. I don't know. Regenerating Mimic, 4-star, 1800 attack, 15 defense. This is a lot of cards, so I'm going to shorten this some. I might make it 2 parts. I don't know. When it hits 30, I'm going to have, I don't know. Hopefully, I don't hope. I hope. Anyway, what it is if he's sent from the hand to the graveyard, he's sent back to my hand. But it has to be, oh, by the way, and Despairs is also like this. It has to be an opponent effect. It just can't be boom. Other than that, it'd be great. But Cold the Haunted. Infinite. Trap card. You can pick any monster from your graveyard and special summon it back to your field. So it's pretty cool. Just be careful, because that links it to that. Nightmare Horse. Zombie type. 500 attack, 400 defense, 2-star. Also, half of the Reaper on the Nightmare. And this ability is that he can attack directly, just like Reaper on the Nightmare, which is where he gets that ability. Reaper on the Nightmare can attack directly. And if Reaper on the Nightmare attacks anyone directly and they lose life points, then they lose a random card. Counter. It's a counter. It's a normal trap card, but it can negate a counter trap card, which is good because I have a lot of counters, because you need that to protect your zombies of higher level. Curse of Agent. It's a good way of getting a card to the graveyard. I suggest this few cards that send your own cards from your hand to the graveyard, because a zombie deck needs a graveyard. You need your graveyard. Send a zombie. Let's say you have Ryu on the, you have Vampire Lord. He's a 5-star. And you don't have any weak monsters. You don't have any cards on the field. To play Curse of Aging. Boom. Discard him. The play Book of Life. And boom. Boom, boom, boom. If it works. My only Fiend type in my entire deck. The Castle of Dark Illusions. Flip effect. It's 1930 defense, 920 attack. And it's got a weird stat because of the ability that it gained of itself. Flip effect, and it gives all zombies a boost, so it's really useful in that department. And of course, the King of Ghosts, Pumpkin, who his ability is, if he's on the field and a Castle of Dark Illusions is on the field, he gains 300 instead of 200. And he sits 2k defense, 1800 attack. Fun fact about Castle of Dark Illusions, it used to have 2500 defense and 1200 attack. But then they decided the level 4 monster with that much, with a boosting stat ability, was a bit too much. If anything, I would have preferred it either to keep the ability, or I would have preferred it if it just lost its ability, because then still 2500, still a lot. Yeoman Ship, the only aqua card here, and it's got a cool ability. It's 3-star, 1400 defense, 800 attack, and when destroyed by the result of battle, it also destroys who had ever destroyed it. So that's that. Now this card was added and has been added and taken out of my zombie deck a lot. So I'm just putting it out there. The Wicked Avatar takes 3 monsters to summon. When summoned, it has a 0/0 attack and defense. It gains 100 greater attack than the highest defense. So whatever the highest, whatever's on the field, defense or attack, this thing will gain 100 of. So there's like a blue line, and it'll be 3100 attack and defense. So it's indestructible by battle. And when it's first summoned, when summoned successfully, your opponent cannot activate a spell or trap card for 2 turns. Get a little dried out here. And yeah. It's a good roll because if you use double cost, then, as I said, he counts as 2, so you'd only need him and something else. So, but as I said, this thing's been taken in and out because it's not really useful, but it's a field control, so that's whatever. Poison Mummy, zombie type, attack 1000, defense 1800. It is the ability flip effect of inflict 500 to your opponent. So I like it. It's good defense, good starter. It's good. Dark Spirit of the Silent. Let's read this now. This can only be activated during your opponent's battle step. Negate the attack of one monster and select another one of your opponents to face up to have it attack. It's kind of like that other trap where I can force my opponent, but they all have to attack. This only makes one of it forces, like, if someone's in defense mode and they got no attack, like Labyrinth Wall, it would force that to attack, and you'd win. Dark Releaser of Rituals. Now she is cool. She's got 2k defense, 1200 attack, and when she can be used as ritual material while she's in the graveyard. You just have to send her out of play, and that's pretty much why I have her. She can be, and relinquishes ritual takes one monster, any monster. So if she's in my graveyard, yes, you can look up the card name, and if you want the card names, I'll redo the description and put the list of cards. Probably will anyway, but that's whatever. Depends on how many people want the list. I mean, that's whatever. So yeah, and if you use and whatever ritual monster you summon, your opponent is unable to special summon as long as the ritual monster is on the field. So if I relinquish, then my opponent can't special summon, which is a big deal. If I can control the special summoning, attacking, everything. Now if I start losing, this is one of my favorite little traps, Torrential Tribute. It's kind of like Dark Hole, except it can only be done with something summoned. It destroys every monster on the field. It's a cool little trap. And it makes people mad for some reason, I guess because they just like fusion summon or special summon or anything. And boom. Death Rakuda. It's a zombie with camel. I know I don't care about the stats. It's 500 attack, 600 defense. What's the beauty is you can flip it and you get to draw a card. But the cool thing about it is you can flip it back face down. Most mummy cards have this ability. Most, not all. Poison mummy. Anyway, that's pretty cool, getting a card. Now this card is Mizuki. It's a zombie. 1700 attack, 800 defense. And I can remove it from play. As long as he's in my graveyard, I can remove him from play. Special summon a zombie type monster from my graveyard. That's catastrophic. Imagine that. He's destroyed near the beginning of the duel and near the end. I use his effect. That would just throw people off. And the main man of the hour, Ryu Kaki. Otherwise, I called him Ryu. Oh, sirens going off. People getting injured. You think they'd schedule that around this? Anyway, he can instantly kill any creature that's a rare spellcaster. Now, if you battle a spellcaster and he's got 2k attack points, that monster's destroyed and your opponent loses 400. It's easy, but if he attacks like a spellcaster of 3000 defense, you lose 600 life points. You still lose life points. Whoever does loses life points still. But they'll get destroyed. Next is a trap card. The compulsory evacuation device. It's a trap card. You can return any card. You return any monster back to its owner's hand. It's really cool. It's another fiend type. It's called the Mask of Darkness. It's 400 defense, I think 900 attack. But what it does is its flip effect. Select one trap card from my graveyard and add it to my hand, which is really cool. Pyramid Turtle is a zombie. 1200 attack, 1400 defense, 4 star. When this card, and if I don't give a star, I'm just going to say this now from now on since this is really getting long. If I don't say the star level, that means it's 4 or lower. If I say, I'll probably tell you the star level if it's 5 or higher, but 4 or lower, probably not anymore, because, timeline. If Pyramid Turtle is sent to the graveyard, which is all the battle, I can special summon one zombie with a defense 2k or less from the deck to the field. Then you shuffle. Spirit Reaper, the other half of Reaper on the Nightmare, is indestructible by battle. It becomes the target of a spell or trap card, except certain effects and certain traps don't work on him. They weird like that. And if he successfully attacks your opponent's life points directly, your opponent discards one randomly from his or her hand. Both of the Spirit Reaper and Nightmare Horse's effects are in Reaper, so. Which is why I didn't make our Reapers on the Nightmare's effects, because they're both identical. It's all the same. Call of the Mummy. It's a continuous spell card. If your field is empty, you can then special summon one zombie from your hand to the field. I've greatly used this. I've played Call of the Mummy before, set a monster, and then I've instantly summoned Vampire Lord, and then summoned him to the field. Now, here we go. The main man of the hour, Vampire Lord. 5-star. 2k attack, 1500 defense. Oh, and most of my zombies in this deck can be summoned through the effects of Pyramid Turtle. So, that's a good standard of them. Like, there's two that can't, and that's Despair and Vampire Genesis. Those are the only two that can't really be summoned. So, he leveraging inflicts life points, declare damage to your opponent, declare card type, your opponent will search his or her deck. You can pretty much call a monster, magic, or trap, and they'll search their deck for one. I always call trap cards because I hate them. Because when I do attack, I don't usually attack, but when I do, I want it to go through. That's a meme. Lol. Anyway. And his brother is not really. Oh, and if Vampire Lord is destroyed by a card effect, monster effect, magic, or trap, he becomes back during my standby phase, so that's cool. And his brother, they're not really brothers. In fact, the next zombie's not really a vampire technically, but you know, I've seen him enough to know that that looks enough for a vampire. Patrician of Darkness. He's 5-star, 1400 defense and 2000 attack, which is why I think they're brothers, because they're almost opposite in appearance and 100 defense difference. His effect is, while face upon the field, I can choose how my opponent attacks. Like, they can pick what attacks, but I get to pick what the target is. So, I've got two of him. Oh yeah, I've got maybe two Vampire Lord in here too. Next card, the Shallow Grave. Both players get to pick one monster on the field and set it on the field. I know that's kind of good for my opponent, but it's also better for me because of the next person I'm going to tell you about. My rarest in the entire deck is the Guardian Sphinx. Guardian Sphinx. It's a rock type. It has this cool effect that if it gets flipped face down to face up, it sends all my opponent's monsters back to their owner's hand. So even though, I use Shallow Grave, set him, and that very turn, I can flip it, and boom. It's got 1700 attack, decent, but it's good in defense, like all earth types, rocks. He's really cool. And he's been in there since the beginning, so I can vouch for it. Next, Judgment of Anubis. Discard one card from your hand to negate the activation of a spell card controlled by your opponent that pretty much counters, like if someone played Mystical Space Typhoon, play this on it. Then you can destroy one of your opponent's monsters and they lose life points equal to the attack of that monster. The Dark Hex Sword Fusion. It's a monster, 1600 defense, 1000 attack, and it's a rock type. Booyah. It's pretty much, it can be used as half a fusion material, as long as the fusion is a dark type. You have to have polymerization, one of the materials, and you can use the Dark Hexial Fusion as the other half. It's really useful. Titan Mask. It's a counter, trap card, and it began their activation with spell trap card that targets a zombie. That specifically targets a zombie. That means if it's like, if someone plays like Trap Hole, and it's to a zombie, Titan Mask. Unless it's on Vampire Lord, don't do it on Vampire Lord, because then he just comes back anyway. So, Heavy Storm. If I feel like my opponent's got something, Heavy Storm. I switched it out with Giant True Nade, but then I decided to try True Nade. Yes, I save my traps, But usually, in this deck, I've got like 4 traps, like 20 counters, so another value, I think I've got 2 of them. I know I have more than one. Polymerization, I would suggest having only one, but you know, you may need more depending on how many zombie fusions. And this is just my generalization. Polymerization, we all know, it's the card you need for fusions. That's whatever. Relinquish, a great field card. I like him more than his fusion form. Ritual monster, no attack, no defense. Same effect as I restrict as the absorption ability. But the cool thing about him is if I lose life points with relinquish, like if I attack a monster and I lose life points, my opponent loses the same amount, which is why I love him. It's because of that ability of draining your opponent as well as yourself. I love that. Storm brewing. Book of Moon. It's a quick spell, magic, a quick play spell card. It's pretty cool. Little card here. You select one face of monster and put it back face down. Using that on my Guardian Sphinx, I could flip it like twice. The Royal Keeper. Zombie. 16 attack, 17 defense. And if I say that, you know what that means. It's not literally 16. It's like 1600, 1700. That's whatever. And when he's flipped, like Guardian Sphinx, he gains 300 attack and 300 defense. So he becomes himself 1900, 2k for the turn. Regeki Break, a great card. One of those also discard cards. And it's great because you can destroy any card on the field. That's its effect. So let's say you have Book of Life, Vampire Lord, and your opponent has a monster, and you have Regeki Break. Set Regeki Break, and in that turn, like afterward, like if you've got Regeki Break on the field face down already, you can activate it, send Vampire Lord from your hand to the graveyard, and Regeki Break will break one of your opponent's monsters. Play Book of Life, that monster you just killed goes out to play, and you can summon Vampire Lords. Now you have monster they don't. Not really a fan of equipped spell cards, but I brought this anyway because it's really useful. Malevolent Nuzzler gives a boost of 700 attack points to any creature you want to. It's pretty cool. And if I pay 500 life points when it's destroyed, it'll go back to the top of my deck. Doesn't usually get destroyed unless I choose to, so it's mostly my own cards. Curse of Royal. It's a counter trap. Negate the activation of an effective spell trap card that destroys a spell trap card. It's like Curse of Anubis, but much lighter. Ordeal of a Traveler. Whenever I can activate this when my opponent attacks, or I can choose not to. My opponent then has to guess one card in my hand, monster, magic, or trap. If he guesses right, the attack still goes through. But if he guesses wrong, the monster goes back to his hand. The picture is of Guardian Sphinx. Shadow Spell. Great card. It's a good trap. Continuous. It stops my opponent attack. It also prevents the monster from changing attack positions, and it also reduces their attack by 700. Cool little gadget there. Let's see. And next, we have to go my Wasteland. Magic card. It's a field spell. Now, as I said, Zombie World is a better field spell, but until then, this is the best one, because every creature, except for Relinquish and all his buddies, are affected by this. It boosts all dinosaur, zombie, and rock types by 200 attack and defense die. And the last monster, and the last card of this entire deck, is a Thousand Eyes Idol. His ability? None. Star level 1. Dark deck. Attack and defense are both 0. He's only good for 2 things. 1,000 Eye Restrict, or Creature Swap. You know how bad it would be if you had to swap out a creature with 3,000 attack with my creature that has 0? I have seen a lot of people submit after I've done that to them, so it's very disturbing. Now, the zombie deck is good against warriors and spellcasters, as I've said before. It's not so good against the DD deck, cards that's in a deck that's designed of sending cards out of play. And that is an issue that And hope you enjoyed. Now there are a lot of zombie cards you could add. There's a lot of magics and traps I would be assisting. You can adjust it any way you want to. If you have anything, leave a comment section below. Also, a few things. I've got like 5 minutes, maybe. I'm going to do this. Anyway, I was playing Mortal Kombat in the new one. And here's a challenge for you all. Go to New Cybot. Get his MK2 outfit. Go to him. Press start. Get to his MK2 and then press start again. And show you what happens. I don't know if it's just me or not, but I saw smoke as his clone. That's pretty cool. Anyway, I'll show that later on when I figure out how I can record that. Also, I'm thinking about making a RuneScape PvP video. I hate PvP, but I mean, it depends on you guys what you want to see. Also, if you want to see me do the Plants vs. Zombies Endless, I don't like doing Endless Facebreaker. I mean, I swear to God, I hate Facebreaker the most, but I guess I'll do my best. I probably won't do that well. Zombie, best thing I ever did was 7. You'll see 100 because I hacked it, and I was just doing it for money. When obviously I found that this little money glitch after I did that. Wasted like a whole day getting money, and then I found out about this because I was just playing around. It made me kind of depressed. But anyway, hope you enjoyed, and if you need to, I will put the list in the description. And this has been Green Matter 13. Have a wonderful day.